Hi everyone, Esther L. Jones, artist, ceramicist, and music teacher here, and welcome to my vlog, which I make as a companion to my blog each week. Today we're going to be talking about the darkness and the thrill of hope. I hope you'll enjoy watching the video of me painting the painting that I discuss in the vlog today while I discuss the vlog. How's that? There are no announcements this week except that I repaired my kiln and then overfired anyway, but everything was fine, and well, almost everything, and I'll tell you more about that in This Week in the Studio. But let's start out today by talking about my favorite Christmas song. Actually, it's kind of hard to choose my favorite because I like it Christmas regardless. I just love Christmas songs. But the favorite that I want to put in front of you today and talk about is titled "Oh Holy Night." And you might be wondering, why would I pick this one over another one? It's because, y'all, the world is a weary place just at the moment. It's weary and quite dark. Disease and scarcity and political infighting and all kinds of scary things going on, and it feels isolating. Anyway, so it feels kind of dark, and I'll bet that you can relate with that. I bet you felt that. Most people have. Long lay the world in sin and error pining, like that. But there is a glorious morn. But let's just imagine that the power goes off, or the sun goes down and you really weren't paying attention to that, and it got dark in your house, or the candle gutters and goes out and it's dark and all you can smell is the smoke of that wick that's gone out, that acrid odor. And maybe you grope for the matches and you hope that they're right there, that you laid them down instead of putting them away. You weren't sure. But then you find them and you light the candle again. It's all bright. You breathe a sigh of relief. Or all the electricity comes back on and all of a sudden everything's working again. Or you reach up to the wall behind you and you flip that switch once you realize how dark it's gotten since the sun went down, and the room brightens and you have a lot of light. You know, those are pretty common experiences, right? You've been there, you've done that, you've felt that, you know that sudden feeling of brightness or the relief that comes when you can see where you're going. A thrill of hope, the weary world rejoices, for yonder breaks a new and glorious morn. The light shows up so much more brightly when it shines in the dark. Light's all the brighter for the darkness. Hope is sweeter when it's contrasted with hopelessness. Led by the light of faith, serenely dreaming, with glowing hearts by his cradle we stand. We all need a thrill of hope. That would be good. And so would I could use some glowing heart too, right? I would like it if my heart was filled with light and glowing. But contrast brings out the light. Just recently I enrolled in a painting course by Alan Picard, and we're working our way through the first unit. And believe it or not, my mind goes to these kind of philosophical ponderings while I'm painting. And my best paintings are the ones where the contrast is obvious and painterly. But it's there, it's contrast, it's very obvious. There's a very definite dark and a very definite light. Those are the ones that are attractive. Those are the ones that grab the viewer and make them look. And if I forget to think about the contrast, that painting is sunk. It will fail to be attractive or catch your eye or tell you a story or guide your eye through the painting. When I begin a painting, the very first thing I do is I reinforce the darks, the shades, the places where the form is turned away from the light. And I never use just one color. I don't just use black or gray. I use lots of different dark colors, dark purples and dark reds and dark blues and dark greens. And I layer them over one another so that the colors of the painting are also in those darks. They're rich. And then when I begin to bring in the midtones and the lights, the contrast is glorious. I layer the darker lights and then the lighter lights and finally the very lightest light. And boom, eye candy. With a message, usually. In art, we call that values, seeing the values, then seeing the value contrast. And those are more important than any of the other things you might have. Color, technique, composition. None of that is as important as the values. Without the values, color, technique, composition won't make a good painting. Just won't. If the values are missing, it's just not a recipe for success. Values are important in life too. So see, my brain is doing that thing again. I don't know about you, but I already have plenty of darkness. Plenty of darkness. I have anger. I have selfishness. I have laziness. I have lack of diligence. And I don't need to work on that. See, all those colors of dark are already abundant within me. But what I need to concentrate on is bringing in the lights, adding healthy habits, right thinking, diligence, kindness, one by one, until my life sings with joy. Now I can only do that because of God's grace, because He's appeared to me as He has to the whole world. Till He appeared and the soul felt its worth. The King of Kings lay thus in lowly manger. In all our trials, born to be our friend. He knows our need, to our weakness is no stranger. Values aren't a very exciting part of making art, nor are they a very exciting part of becoming a decent human being, but they are essential in both art and in becoming a better human. So whether you are an artist making art using art materials, or you're just an artist trying to craft a life of joy, make sure you create great values first. And since I said that, it's time for This Week in the Studio. First of all, got to showcase my amazing young pianist. She earned her first level certificate on Thursday. Teaching humans to see music is such a joy for me. Next, let me show you a couple of things that came out of the kiln today. First of all, what you need to know is that the big kiln was broken, and I've been waiting for the part, and the part finally came in. So I installed the part, I calibrated it as carefully as I knew how, and then I loaded it and fired it up, and it overfired. Thank goodness I have been firing long enough to realize that it was not getting done on time, and I finally just manually shut it off, or things could have been much, much worse. And it overfired by at least a cone and a half. So I usually go for cone 6. It was probably a cone 7 and a little. And y'all, I was so sick and so worried. Most of the pieces in there were just test pieces or refires that if they didn't come out, it wasn't a big deal. But one of them was a platter I've been working on for weeks for a friend, and really was sick to think that it might have been ruined. But please, I want you to observe this gloriousness. Not a crack, not a bubble, no warping, even in a cone 7 and a half. It's wonderful, and I'm so happy for her that we got it through. And also, I tried an experiment. I had a little, nope, it's not over here. I tried an experiment. I had a small tray that went with a soup and salad set that when it came out, it was wobbly, it was warped. And I thought, well, I'm just gonna throw it back in the kiln and hope that the heat flattens it out. And I did that, and it did. So now I got another soup and salad set. It's a gorgeous red. if you're interested in that, and I'll be putting it up on the website soon. So either message me or go look for it on the website. Links, by the way, down in the description for everything. So that's it, my magical friends. Please be on the lookout for the music. Make sure your ears are tuned to hear the colors. Reach out and grope for that magic. It's there. You just have to find it in the dark. And then the light will appear, and the wonder and the worship will shine in your heart. Godspeed until next time. Bye.